Good morning. How are you guys doing today? So we're going to start off with a question because that's always the most fun. How many of you have ever been asked by your parents to do something that you did not want to do? I have. I've been asked by my parents to do a lot of things that I haven't wanted to do. I've asked my kids to do things that they don't want to do, like brush their teeth, pick up their room, clean up after the dog poop. I've asked them to do those things, and they're really not their favorites. But they're part of our family. That's part of our chores. It's part of what we do here in the house. And as a part of God's family, we're asked to do things too. And God says, hey, I want you to go and do this, and I want you to go and do that. And how we respond to God is part of our obedience and our love. It shows God how much we love him and how much we want to bless him in return. So today, our story is about a guy who said no to God. You guys know who we're talking about today? Well, because I'm doing the lesson, we all know it has to do with water. And today, our story is about a man by the name of Jonah. You guys know, who Jonah is? You guys remember his story? Jonah was the one who God said, Jonah, I want you to go to Nineveh, and I want you to tell the good people of Nineveh about me and about my love and about how I care for them and how I want them to love me in return. And if you don't, I'm going to have to destroy Nineveh. And Jonah's like, so? Destroy them. They're evil. They don't know you. They're not very nice. They like to fight with each other. They like to fight with other people. Why would you want to save them? Why would you want to do that? Nineveh's a long ways away. I don't want to go to Nineveh. Jonah started giving God all these excuses about why he didn't want to go and do things. Do you guys give excuses to your parents about why you don't want to do things? Daddy, I don't want to clean my room. It's just going to get dirty all over again. Daddy, I don't want to eat my green beans because they're just going to grow in my tummy again. Daddy, I don't want to wash my ears because I know I liked potatoes and I know that potatoes will grow in my ears if I don't wash them. We all have these excuses on why we don't want to do anything, but we have to trust that when God asks us to do something, he has a plan. Well, Jonah didn't really trust God had a plan. So instead of going to Nineveh, what did he do? Yep, he got on a boat and he went the other direction. Didn't get on a train, didn't get on a horse and a buggy. He got on a boat and he got out of town. And as he was getting out of town, what happened? Do you think God was happy? Are your parents happy when you don't do what they've asked you to do? Not really. Not really at all. So the ocean or the sea started to get really angry and started to move and to toss and to tumble and to turn, and it's going everywhere. And all the sailors on the boat, this isn't new to them. They've been in the water before. They've been on the sea when it's gotten very rough and very tumbling. But this was different. This was very different. They had never seen waves like this before. They had never heard the roar of the ocean. They had never seen waves come crashing down on them like they were. And they got scared. They got so scared, they started talking about whose God is upset, who did what to their God to make them do this, who would bring all of this destruction down on this. We're gonna die. And you know what Jonah was doing? He was sleeping. Yeah, he was down on the boat, just sleeping away, not listening, not seeing anything that was going on. But you know what happened? Eventually he got woke up. The sailors, they woke him up. They're like, Jonah, what's going on? You're a man of God. Can you stop this? And Jonah heard them, and he saw their desperation. He saw their fear, and he realized that it was his fault that they were in all this danger. He realized that his disobedience, that he didn't do what God had called him to do, was putting at risk all these other men's lives. So he told the sailors, guys, it's on me. It's my bad. It's my fault. I am not listening to what my God has called me to do, and I have put you at risk. So what I would like you to do is go ahead, just throw me over the sea, save yourselves, throw me over into the ocean, and God will take care of you, and God will punish me. And the sailor's like, no, Jonah, that's great. We appreciate your humility. We appreciate your willingness, but we can get through this. And Jonah's like, no, I disobeyed God. It's my responsibility. So over he went. They just threw him over the water. And when he hit the water, the storm stopped. Now, you guys remember some of the other stories that we've talked about in our class? Remember when we had Jesus that was on the boat and the water was all topsy-turvy and all the disciples, we're going to die, we're going to die, we're going to die. And Jesus is like, he's having a great nap. And he stood up and he said, be quiet. The sea where Jesus was at got quiet and got soft and everything was nice. And the disciples were like, who is this Jesus that the wind and the waves listen to him? As soon as Jonah hit the water, the sailors are like, who is this God that Jonah serves that has the power over the mighty sea? Well, it's our God. It's the God that we serve, the God that sent Jesus to save our lives. Now, do you think that that's the end of the story with Jonah? He got thrown off into this big ocean, a big sea. We don't know if Jonah knew how to swim. We don't know if he were very far close to land or very far from land. We don't know anything about that. But we do know that God saved Jonah. How did he save him? That's right. He got swallowed by either a whale or a very big fish. Oh, sucked him right up, just like a noodle. You know, whales don't have teeth. Did you know that? Whales don't have teeth. So he got slurped up into this whale, and the whale swam around with Jonah for 3 days. And in that time, during that 3 days, Jonah had time to pray. He had some quiet time. He was like in a 3-day long timeout. And at the end of it, at the end of those 3 days, the whale spit Jonah back out, and Jonah was able to go to Nineveh. He was able to share the gospel. He was able to share with the people of Nineveh about God. And God spared the city because of Jonah's faithfulness. Now, it took a lot for Jonah to go through all of that. But when God asked Jonah to do something, God knew that Jonah would be able to do it. And God was persistent in showing Jonah how to do it and how to get there. So it didn't matter what kind of excuses that Jonah came up with. He needed to follow through on what God had. And God was going to provide a way for Jonah to do that. So as you guys go out and as you guys think about Jonah, remember, when God asks you to do something, and when God has you to talk to your friends about Jesus, or stand up for the kid at school who is being bullied or picked on by other kids, or when God's telling you to listen to your mommy and dad about doing what they need to do, not only is he going to provide a way for you to do that, he's going to make sure that you are able to follow through with what he has done. God will save you. God will protect you. God will give you all that you possibly need in order to follow through on what he has called you to do. All right, guys. Love you. Have a great week. Bye-bye.